Standstill letter is issued at the end of a procurement process and is one of the most important documents in the process. It allows unsuccessful tenderers to receive feedback and to understand how to improve and win future tenders. It is also usually the basis for unsuccessful tenderers to decide on whether or not to bring a legal challenge. Contracting authorities should therefore take the time to draft the letters carefully to avoid potential challenges and delays to the award of the contract. We have gathered some tips on what to look out for in drafting and reviewing a standstill letter to make sure it is fully compliant with procurement legislation. Firstly, the preferred tenderer must be correctly identified in the letter. The letter should state the full legal name of the preferred tenderer, for example, Dorit McCann Limited. As a general rule, it is not permissible to change the identity of the bidder during the process. Only the legal entity that pre-qualified and was evaluated can be awarded the contract. Secondly, the letter must contain the scores of the successful tender and the unsuccessful tender. Scores should be given for each of the award criteria and sub-criteria evaluated by the contracting authority. Overall scores for categories of criteria are not sufficient. Thirdly, the letter must contain details of the characteristics and relative advantages of the preferred tender. The feedback must be specific to the tender being evaluated and must be sufficiently precise to enable a tenderer to ascertain why they lost and how they could have improved their tender. Generic language such as "your tender was good, but the preferred tender was excellent," or "your tender lacked detail" is not sufficient. There is a greater obligation to give detailed reasons where the unsuccessful tender was cheaper compared to the preferred tender. On the other hand, detailed reasons are not required where the unsuccessful tender scored the same or higher mark than the preferred tender. Finally, the letter must state the duration of the standstill period. For standstill letters sent by electronic means, this is 14 calendar days from the day after the standstill letter has been sent. If you are an unsuccessful tenderer and you believe the standstill letter is deficient or you have concerns in relation to the outcome of the procurement process, it is important that you seek legal advice immediately. This is because the time limit for bringing a legal challenge is extremely short in procurement cases. Thank you for listening.